Back in the locker room, Touch and Wolf, brought to you by Sprint. Joining us right now as we change our attention to amateur boxing right here in Pittsburgh. To my far left, the head trainer from the South Park Boxing Club, Bob Muscles. I love calling him Muscles. That's one of the very, very cool nicknames of all times. Muscles, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Call them like fatheads,
That's
right?
or Fats. I'd rather, or Joey Bag of Donuts.
Yeah, those.
And also, cool. Next to Wolf, the #2 ranked welterweight in USA Boxing, Jesse Lubash. Jesse, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks. It's great to be here.
And that's #2 in the entire country, right?
Yes.
USA.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I wanted to make sure, hey, we're talking Puerto Rico, we're talking Hawaii, we're talking D.C.,
Tell me the difference between Hawaii, D.C., and Puerto Rico.
Oh, it's easy. D.C., you can't find a tree. Hawaii, there's a lot of trees. How about that?
Oh, huh? Mr. Geography, and you wonder why he just couldn't walk across campus at Syracuse University.
It's a gift, Chaluch. I don't even have to work at it.
The Grateful Dead once sang a song, "What a Long and Strange Trip It Has Been." And Jesse, I know that you have just taken one of them on your way to the national championships, the Golden Glove National Championships at Colorado Springs. And guys, tell us about kind of the craziness that you went through.
Man. What, you started off with the AMA Regionals here?
Started off in the AMA Regionals. That was in New Jersey. From there, we went, where was it we went next?
Cincinnati, Midwestern Trials.
Midwestern Trials, Cincinnati.
I'm glad you weren't driving.
Yeah.
No.
He actually did drive to Cincinnati.
Then we go to Cincinnati.
Went to Cincinnati. Jesse lost a 1-point battle to the #2 guy in the country there. Was with the computer scoring system. First time he had been up against that, and the other guy had scored a point with 2 seconds left in the bout.
2 seconds left in the bout. You got to be kidding me.
We're looking at the tape, can't find it.
We didn't see it, but that's what it was called.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
And then we would have had the tiebreaker. If it ended up tied, we win the tiebreaker. But moved on to there, came back home. Pennsylvania Golden Gloves. Jesse and his brother Jimmy both were state champs there, which sent him to National Golden Gloves.
You guys
Tennessee.
fought great. I was there that night. Terrific.
Oh, that was fun to have me and my brother there to win a state title.
And it was the Coca-Cola Great Hall over at Heinz Field.
Yeah, which is a fun event to have there. I mean, it's a lot of people come. It's a good time there.
It was a good time watching you bang away.
Now, talk about, there's a lot of controversy with the point system.
Wait, let's finish the road trip here before we go. Yeah.
All right, well, he talked about it. He said he lost by a point. I want to know.
No, but the road trip didn't end there. This is the wild part. That's just part of it. Then you go to the state. Or
we went to Chattanooga, Tennessee for National Golden Gloves.
Right.
Jesse fought real well down there and ended up losing the quarterfinals. The #1 guy in the country, Demetrius Andrade, who's probably the #1 guy that's going to be in the Olympics.
An Olympian.
Yeah.
Huh?
And down there, we were sort of kicking around because he had come so close. You could see he could compete with these guys. We ended up hitching a ride to Florida. The Eastern Trials were the following week. We weren't sure we were going to go. We just said, you know what? We talked to the head coach of the Pennsylvania Golden Gloves team, was driving down there. He was meeting his fighter down there. So we jumped the ride with him, went down to Cocoa Beach, Florida, and had a real successful time. Jesse ended up winning 4 fights in 4 days and brought home the championship, which qualified him to go to the U.S. Nationals in Colorado Springs.
All right, there you go.
What was that experience like for you, Jesse, being in Colorado Springs?
Couldn't see around my fat head?
No, I couldn't. I didn't want to. I'm glad you mentioned it.
I just figured.
I had to do one of these. Yeah.
It would have been a lot funner if I didn't get that allergic reaction. But
yeah, what happened?
Well, in all fairness to Jesse, he probably shouldn't have been. He was at a sushi bar with his girlfriend.
The sushi bar.
You never bet on that all the time.
And he's allergic to shellfish, and he ends up. Well, he said he didn't eat any of it. But
Did you have California roll?
Does it have shell?
Yes, it does. It has crab in it. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You
all
turned
the rolls have crab in it.
Your girlfriend, I know her. She's a nice young lady.
So
how did she let you? That one should have never slid by.
We go there all the time. I never had a problem before, and that time I did. It was from inhaling it.
You know what? Never eat sushi in Colorado. That's the deal.
No, this was
back here.
Oh, this is back here.
This was at the waterfront.
Yeah, he ended up in a hospital a couple days before we went.
Oh.
And but we still went.
So what happened? What happened when you had what kind of allergic reaction did you have?
My lungs closed up.
Oh,
see, I know
that's
I'm
a
allergic.
pretty bad.
Yeah, I know I'm allergic to it.
Yeah.
That can handicap you a little as far as boxing preparation. No lungs.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gasping for breath in the middle of the night. I didn't go that night, but the next day I had to. I couldn't breathe.
Right.
And
oh man.
yeah, I knew I'm allergic to it, but I never had a problem going there. You know, it's only when I ate it. But I guess that time it hit me from inhaling it.
Wow.
Well, I think you stay away from the sushi.
Don't eat
joints.
sushi anymore.
At least for now, it's
No,
good.
no, don't even breathe.
No, don't even go to don't even go to the strip district where all the fish places are.
I better not.
Yeah, you were talking about the point system and how controversial that is.
Well,
talk about that.
Well, yeah, in the past, pro boxing, amateur boxing were very similar. You had the same scoring system, 20-point must system, and guy wins a round, he gets 2019, or maybe knocks a guy down, it's 2018, something like that. But the last half a dozen years, really, we've evolved, trying to, the AIBA, which is the International Boxing Federation. It's strictly points scored now, and a guy lands a clean punch in the middle of the ring, and you got 5 judges all sitting there with their push button, and 3 of the 5 have to see that punch within 1 second for it to be a scoring blow. Whereas in the past, a lot of the things that you would score on, like effective aggression, ring generalship, stuff like that, which everybody trains their boxers to do. But then once you get out into the national scene, you see that you really got to be conscious of that scoring system. And Jesse really got good at it. Because he's a in-your-face type guy, tough guy,
Oh, he is.
banger. He's going to make an excellent professional. And if he would have qualified maybe in January for the U.S. Nationals, then we'd have sat back and just trained. He might not have been as successful when he went to these national tournaments, fought these top guys at that game, and was able to beat them. But yeah, it's for a purist like me, and I know Wolf likes the old scoring system too, because you can, a guy gets a little bit of a lead, and they come and show you the score between rounds, and the guy's up 3-4 points, and he's on his horse, and there's no penalty for it.
That's what gets a little bit challenging, because then they get that lead, and then they just run around the ring. And you've got to find the 2 judge side. Are you actually able to do that? Because there's 5 judges around the ring. You got 2 judges on one side, gives you the most optimal chance to register scoring points. So you want to position yourselves for them. Can you do that in the middle of taking incoming and throwing?
You're right. I mean, that's how it is. And it's hard to do that. Because you don't want to be thinking about the judges. And
You look at the judge and you get cracked one in the mouth.
Right.
Can we move over here so this guy got a better view of it?
So it is hard, but once you get the hang of it and you kind of get the feel of where these judges are, then it starts coming
We had a
more
little
natural.
system worked out too, like when he would be positioned where those judges had a good point of it, I would be yelling out work now or something like that, just so he would know.
He had some verbal commands that helped him make sure
Right.
that he was positioned correctly.
Yes.
Oh, that's smart.
Now, what do you guys allow?
That was your wife Faith that suggested that, actually.
What is the corner allowed to do from a standpoint of during the round communicating with the fighter?
Oh, you're allowed to yell encouragement to your fighter. You're not allowed to yell anything derogatory to the other fighter. You're not allowed to yell at the referee, but you can encourage your fighter.
So, and you can call instructions too.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
See, I could not sit there. Now, Muscles, could I sit there and go, "You stink. You're lousy. You got no left. You got no right." See, I could never do that.
Yeah,
I couldn't say touch.
They
You're
told you not to
horrible.
do that no more, remember?
Keep up the right, all right? Before I give you a cauliflower here.
That's a good thing, because just in the past couple of years,
That's
I grew up with some veterans teaching me, Chuck Sempton and Jim Gruber, and those guys, you weren't allowed to yell from the corner.
right. You weren't allowed to say.
They show you how to hold the towel up in front of your face and yell.
Yeah.
And the referees don't. I know that was you. I know your voice. Don't even try that. But it was good though, because then you'd have guys like their buddies and some other guys sitting in the front row behind the coach that's not allowed to yell, and they're screaming everything you don't want the guy to do.
Right.
He's all groggy, getting beat up, getting there yelling, "Go after him!" And you're like, trying to give him a hand signal, get out of there. So it's good that the coaches are allowed to do that, because they made the voice of reason they can hear now instead of all that bad information.
We're going to take a break. We're going to be back with these guys. Wolf, you duck, because we're going to go to break. You're in the locker room with Touch and Wolf. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Jesse. He comes from a fighting family. We're going to talk about his future plans of pro boxing right here in the locker room.